What's up, fighter? I want to talk to you about how to keep fighting. We're still in chapter 5 in my book, Willpower. And you see, I'd been driving all day from Cheyenne, Wyoming, all the way to California. Finally got through California, almost running out of gas. And I crossed into California state line at 3 a.m., absolutely exhausted. All the hotels that I was trying to book were already booked up or they were too expensive. I felt powerless. I had no money, no energy, and nowhere to sleep. I actually remember walking up to some of these hotel rooms, and the ones that did have money, it was just like, I can't afford this. And I think it was like maybe 130 bucks at the time, but that's just how tough of a situation this was. And so I rolled the window down and spit on the pavement outside the door of the van after brushing my teeth using bottled water. I ended up sleeping in my van that night in the Walmart parking lot. Falling asleep was easy because I was so tired, but I kept waking up startled by different noises outside of the van, thinking someone might be trying to break in. That morning I woke up to California sunshine and city noises and a breakfast served to me through the drive-through window of McDonald's. Nobody knew the kind of night I had, and I still had to show up at the venue the next day with a smile on my face, ready to rock the house. And I specifically remember that time. It was, a long drive. The drive wasn't so hard. I'd always be listening to preaching, listening to music, always thinking, dreaming. I was always optimistic. And when I think back to some of this stuff and, my history and my story, that, I wasn't afraid of hard work, but I didn't want to just work harder. I needed to learn how to work smarter. And at that time of my life, I didn't know how to work smarter. I just hustled and I hustled and hustled. And there's always a smarter way to do things. And that's why people perish for a lack of knowledge. They don't know there's a better way. There's a different way to do that which it is that you're trying to do. But you better believe when I was in that, parking lot, I was scared out of my mind. I kept on waking up thinking someone was going to break in or kill me. I don't even remember where I was in California, if it was a sketchy place or not. But I remember the pastor, who was actually a friend of mine, the next day ended up picking me up, and we went out for some really good food, had a great show, and I got to sleep in a normal bed the other night, somebody else's bed or a hotel bed, I don't even remember. But I just want you to know that, to keep fighting, you've got to have that vision of your dream in front of you. You got to have your why has got to be so big so that when you're going through tough times, when you can't afford a hotel, when you can't afford a nice meal or that drink or whatever it is that you're trying to, do, you can't afford it, what is your why? To keep fighting through that, and how can you be more resourceful? And I'm definitely not suggesting you sleep in the car and doing it and beat yourself up doing it the hard way. That's what I did, and I didn't have to. I had a nice IT job sitting for me at home that I could, take any time. But my dream and my why was bigger than that, and that's what allowed me to keep fighting. I think about that movie, Cinderella Man, and I think it's J.J. Braddock who's fighting this guy, and he's, fighting him, and he gets knocked down, and he's on the ground, and he doesn't think he can go anymore. He's just about to just say, forget it. But then he starts having flashbacks of his family getting evicted, his little children, his wife, his kids getting sick, and all of a sudden his why was able to pull him up from the ground and get up and win that fight. And so I want to encourage you to tap into your why and your reason that will push you through and help you to keep fighting for whatever your dream is, whatever your passion is, whatever God's called you to do. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but let me say, this is why you want to get a mentor. This is why you want to read books and learn and get ideas and get inspiration so that you don't have to learn the hard way. So you don't have to struggle and just, beat yourself in the ground. No, there's a smarter way. There's something called leverage. Okay, and we need to use a lot more of that. Hey, if you don't got a copy of my book, Fighter, go to Manifest Shop. Get a copy of this. Get the audio ebook. I know it'll inspire you. Hey, I want to remind you that a fighter isn't someone who never fails. A fighter is someone who never quits.